questions, yo. Everybody on pause. Everybody on pause. All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Shalom, this is JJ. What's going on, family?
Oh, shit.
Don't start nothing.
All right, Judah.
It won't be nothing.
All right, JJ. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, I've been sitting back listening to both of you guys, man. And, you know, man, I can't take no more. I can't take no more of the misinformation. So, the people's family, got to call in and straighten a few things out.
People's champ is in the building.
Please make it quick.
Yeah.
I'm here.
All right. First, I want to deal with Jabari.
Oh.
All right, Jabari. First, you can't cry about babies getting killed when the Egyptians the Phoenicians killed our babies first. So you got to look in the mirror before you go, pointing fingers. How you gonna cry about us killing babies and y'all killed our babies first? And then the thing with the race thing, virginity was very important back then in those times. As you know now, so virginity was very important. It was like gold. And a man couldn't give away his daughter if it was defiled down there or the hymen broke. So actually, when he raped that girl, he disrespected the father. So now he can't even give her away. So the law was protected for this woman. Because guess what? He can't divorce her. She got to be stuck with him for life. He got to support everything that she do with that law. You see what I'm saying? So Jabari, so you just say you've been studying this for 30 years. You need to go back and look those two things up. I was gonna bust Nepal head with that information. I got more on that too. We gonna say that for me in Nepal today. Now I want to get to the brother Adam. Okay.
Sonetta, you got to be short.
Oh, you respond. Hold on, Jabari. You've been going all day, brother. You can respond to hang up. I'm gonna lay it out. I'm gonna go to bed.
You're not a guest. So now you got to keep these short because
yeah, because it is late, JJ. So try to get quicker.
Well, Jabari been hogging the mic, but okay, I'm gonna keep it short. All right. Yeah. All right, Adam, I got a question for you, bro. All right, because you call yourself a Christian apologist, right? I'm trying to figure out first what you apologizing for. And then second, I need to ask this. Because y'all want around here.
See, question, brother.
Okay. All right. Hold up. Listen, brother. Who are the Israelites? Because you guys make a living off trying to say that the blacks are not, the Negroes are not the Israelites. So I'm asking you, do you think those people over in Israel right now are the true Israelites? And then I'm going to tell you something, get off the phone. Return the sacrifice to Jabari. I already proved that. You already said that the first two dynasties, the pre-dynasty, they were doing it. I busted your head on that before. And Vocab, this for you, bro. You already got beat up on FOP 2 days ago. So I don't even know why you even acting like you just didn't get your ass 2 days ago. We drugged you through the mud, bro. We showed you all kinds of Negro.
Right, JJ, we gotta let you go because it's more.
Yeah, I know they love you. All right, peace, family.
All right. Anybody want to respond to that?
He said two things to me, and I'm gonna be really, really brief. He said, "You killed our babies first." First of all, that's a mythological story. It did not happen. And honestly, now
right, Jabari, right.
Most biblical scholars now say that is actually not a historical story. I could show you the quotes. I've actually showed them on your platform a lot, Sonetta. So why would you choose to describe your deity killing babies? So anyway, that's reprehensible. And I want you to be clear that what people often do when you put them in a corner, and this is what I thought I heard Adam do. Well, Adam did do it. I'm trying to be polite. And also JJ are doing, is they're trying to explain why it's okay for you to murder women who are not virgins and also sell them to their rapists. There is nothing that can be explained to that. If any of you have daughters, then you should know that if someone rapes them, then what they should do is they should pay you the equivalent of 50 shekels, and then they will own her because they can't just discard her. What's her perspective? How does she feel about that? I want you to understand that this is from a very male perspective. There's a term for that, misogyny. And I don't know why we're trying to explain it. By the way, with returning sacrifices, JJ seems to believe that he has proven something. and he is not. And remember, Vocab has the homework to show where people buried their servants under pyramids. That's what he said.
Oh yeah, I already dropped it in the live chat.
All right. Anybody else before I bring on this next caller?
Yeah, I'll respond to this question. You know, I don't know if he was joking or that, but when it comes to apologists, it just comes from the word apologia, which means to make a defense. That's what it is in the Greek. So, secondly, you know, when it comes to who are the Israelites, I answer that in two ways. Genetically speaking, when you're talking about just pure bloodline, I think that Israelite has been dispersed in such a way that, you know, there are various different shades. I don't think they're just like, you know, one group of people over in physical Israel. There's various different shades and so on and so forth. Spiritually speaking, I look at Romans 9. True Israel are those who, by grace through faith, are a part of God's kingdom, you know, through Jesus Christ. To respond to what Jabari said, I don't know why he keeps misrepresenting me, but nevertheless, I understand that the only thing he's got to work on right now is the emotional weight of his argument, but what he hasn't done is show the logical weight of it, and I'm still waiting for him to do that with respect to the scriptures that he pointed out. So, right. Yeah. There we go.
I'm a little curious, Adam. I'm gonna ask this quick question for you, man.
Man, so you been sniping me all day, man. Now you gotta snipe him. You gotta snipe Jabari, man.
Hold on, brother, because I want you to look Vocab Malone in his face right now.
I told you to be I told you to be 2 versus 2.
Turn over and look Vocab in his face right now, brother.
What side is he on?
Look towards him. There you go. No, the other side. The other side. The other side. Yeah.
Okay.
Was Jesus a black man? Was the Christ a black man, or was he European descent?
Oh, well, no, he definitely wasn't of European descent. I mean, I don't think that the
was he a black man, brother?
Put it this way. Now, here's the thing: the word anachronism.
Look at him and let him look at him.
I mean, I'm gonna say same thing he agrees with. That Jesus Christ was physically a melanated man. To what extent? I mean, nobody really knows he was a melanated man. I'm sure Vocab would agree with that.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
You agree? You agree, Vocab?
Yes. The two options aren't black or European though. Sonetta.
Yes. Neither, because Jesus didn't exist.
I know, but just let them know.
There you go.
But now, hold on.
Uh-oh. Jabari just let his pseudo shine through.
Oh,
all right, hold on, Adam. Everybody, hold on, Adam.
Yeah.
I heard you make this statement a few times.
Okay.
Does God gives the people a free will? Do we have a free will, brother?
I believe that we have. All right, let me clarify, because there's a whole lot of
will. You use the word.
No, actually, I've been using the word will. I've actually intentionally just used the word will.
Well,
now,
you know what I mean. We got a will.
No, for real. I'm gonna tell you why. So there's different within the church. There's different theological traditions that have different views on what free will is like. So in order to avoid all that, I just use the word will. I do believe that we have a free will in the sense that we are the ones that make our choices and are rightly held accountable for them. That's I believe. I'm just clarifying why I said it that way.
Vocab, you agree?
Which part?
As far as free will.
We have free choice, which means we make choices according to our nature.
No, I said
but
will, brother. I didn't mention the word choice.
There's difference. If you mean an autonomous will, we don't have an autonomous will where we're independent of God and can do whatever we want. No. But if you mean we make choices according to our nature, which is wicked outside of Christ, yes. I have a stronger view than Adam does of God's sovereignty.
I don't get that right there, bro. I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, it's like this.
It's either do God give us a free will or he don't. That's what I'm asking.
If you mean free will, that your will is independent of God and you can do what you want, you don't have free will.
You said you do.
No, if you mean it the way I just defined it, then no, Sonetta, you don't have free will.
Okay.
If you mean this, that you make choices according to your desires that are the strongest, then yes. But that's called free choice. That's not necessarily called free will. Free will, a lot of times people misunderstand it for autonomous will. Your will is not autonomous.
Okay, so Adam, you say we have free will.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about, and to be fair,
there's a lot of double talking up in here, man.
Just listen.
This is crazy.
Yeah, hear me out. Here's the thing.
We can't get a direct answer, man.
The guys, listen. Seriously, here's why I understand it's confusing. Let me just throw this out there. Not all Christians are a monolith on certain issues, and so what I'm saying is there are some. And again, this is why I used the word will, not free will, earlier, because it's just for the sake of avoiding all the confusion. Different Christian camps have different views on what free will is or what it means. Vocab and I come from different theological traditions with respect to how they handle what free will is. That's where he and I just had different views. So that's why you're hearing two different things, because he and I genuinely have different views on that. Nevertheless, the argument that I made, I used the word will specifically. That's why I worded it that way, because I think that he would, be in agreement in terms of how I worded it earlier.
Well,
that's just we're not a monolith.
Tell you, brother, that according to scriptures, the Most High does not give man a free will.
Okay.
You never had it.
All right.
You never will get it. I can show it. See, I come with DNA. Like I said, I'll show you. Here's Exhibit A. Let's go with Exhibit A. I come with DNA scriptures, brother.
Let's do Kemet and Christianity.
Okay.
Why are we doing this again?
Here we go. But if you was to start from 8, you would see where Judah is given a order to do something, right? But
you mean Onan? Onan spilled his seed on the ground, which, by the way, is a much better place than your own mouth.
I said Judah. When you go up to 8, Judah is the one that's telling him. He's the one that's telling him. If you go to Judah, you'll see what I'm talking about. Judah is explaining it and trying to tell him in verse 8, but I didn't get 8 in this one. So what I'm saying is, you can see it. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he shall give seed to his brother. But what did God do? Your God of the Bible got upset because he did not want to plant his seed into the woman. So God intervened and did what? Slew him.
Because he disobeyed God, Sonetta.
Because he don't have a free will to want to go inside of her or don't go inside of her.
No, Sonetta, you can disobey God. Obviously, you can disobey God, but you're going to reap the consequences, Sonetta.
But hold on, Vocab. Number one, he didn't disobey God, right? I was just telling you.
It displeased the Lord because that's what he was supposed to do to care for that woman.
No,
this was to continue the line.
Wasn't Judah telling him to do it? Judah told him.
But this is what was supposed to be done. This is to continue the line to protect the brother. But he was selfish because he didn't want to continue the line because he wanted it for himself. That's why he did it. He didn't want to impregnate her. This is a social security net that was given, and you can see it later on where the man's dead, but to continue the line, which is a big deal. This is what you would do. So it's disobedience to Yahweh. That was the problem.
I think you're all missing something.
Yeah.
The woman's perspective is absent. How does she feel about it?
That's definitely not what Sonetta was getting at.
You know why? A little word called misogyny. That's all I'm going to say.
All right,
Jabari has never told us why.
Hold on, I'm not going to do this because I got like scripture after scripture after scripture showing you that you don't have free will, that every time the Most High or God intervene in humans' affairs, it always ends in tragic. So I ain't going to even do that because God always interferes.
You get a consequence? That's not free will? I don't understand. That get me.
Whoa.
He always interferes. But anyway.
God was just interfering with you, distracting us.
I see. All right, let me get it. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Apostle Saul.
Don't start nothing. It won't be nothing.
All right, Apostle, let's go.
Yeah, look, you might have to.
I need a question, Apostle. I can't take you all day.
I got the question. Come on, look. Come on, stop doing that, Si. I got the question. I'm coming out. Just give your apostle some time, because I waited on the phone quietly while y'all talk that nonsense. Not even Christ had free will. He had to do his Father's will. He did not come to do his will. He was subjugated to his Father's will. So if you think you're better than Christ, he didn't have will, neither do you. You have a choice. But there's consequences for your choices. There's consequences for your actions. God doesn't have consequences. He alone has free will. All right, that's done. Adam, you made a comment about Mansa Musa and Christians in the 1300s. I was wondering, what's your point of saying that when you know the Spanish Inquisition was going on long before that? Christians and of Catholicism had to evade Spain and Portugal and go into Africa. So Christians was in Africa
all right, brother,
way before
let him answer the question, brother.
Okay, so it was cutting out in part, but I'm just gonna have to answer as best I can. If I miss it, just let me know. I think what he was trying to say is, I'm assuming he's a Hebrew Israelite, and he was kind of going with the whole idea of there being a Spanish Inquisition that forced black-looking Hebrews into Africa. And so for me, what I'm trying to come from is, I gave you a source. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to read it again, but I provided a source, and what I'm doing is I'm only making claims.
You just showed us you didn't read the source.
Well, just listen, just hear me out, bro. Golly. All I'm saying is I gave you a source, and I'm not making any claims that go beyond what the source says. So when you can say thumbs down or not, but I'm not. I mean, you want me to read it? I'll read it. Yeah, but if you want me to read it,
No.
Okay, so here's the thing.
No,
so all right, let me
just ask you, do you know about the Spanish? Do you know about the Spanish Inquisition?
Sir, excuse me, sir. I'm trying to speak with respect, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to answer your question. So what I'm saying is I'm not importing anything into this source in terms of my understanding other than what I can glean from the source. Now, we can talk about Spanish Inquisition, all that kind of stuff, whatever, but at the end of the day, you'd have to give me a source that indeed the ones that Mansa Musa was referring to were the individuals that you're referring to in the Spanish Inquisition. All I'm doing is citing the source, and I'm not going beyond that. Show if you have evidence, if you have some evidence that would demonstrate that the people that were in that Mansa Musa was referring to were indeed Hebrews from Portugal or Spain or whatever, then bring the evidence. I'm just citing the source and leaving it at that.
All right, let me move on. Let me move on, Apostle. I gotta go. We closing it. All right, peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, peace. What's up? This is Morpheus. Peace.
Don't start nothing. It won't be nothing.
Morpheus.
What's going on, Morpheus?
Peace. Yeah, this was a great show, man. I really enjoyed this dialogue this evening. I want to ask Brother Adam a question, right? Because people watch these shows, right? They stay up late nights, and people study, right? Because they're looking for truth, right? So I want to ask you: do you agree or disagree? Do you think that faith is the pathway to truth?
Do I think that faith is a pathway to truth? Is that what he asked?
Yeah.
I understand correctly. Yeah. Okay. So I think that we have typically today, and it's partly, I'll just say it's society's fault that we have a misunderstanding of what faith is. Okay. Typically when people use the word faith, they're referring to something like blind faith or believing where there's no evidence or something along those lines. When it comes to the way that the biblical authors use the term faith, whether it be in the Greek pistis or whether it be in the Hebrew amana, they are not referring to some concept of blind faith or something of that sort. If you want to look at it contextually, and you want to look at it in terms of what the words actually mean, the words amana or pistis that we find in the scriptures referring to faith refer to trust in that which for which you have good reason to trust, either a person or a thing for which you have good reason. I believe that trusting in things that or persons for which you have good reason, I do think that those things are a pathway to truth. And so that would be my answer there.
Okay, so they can. Okay, hold on. So that can people have faith in something that's not true?
People. So again, we were talking about biblical. When I use the word faith, I'm referring to the way that the biblical authors use it, whether it be in the Old Testament or the New. And so, if you're talking about like blind faith, then that's just not where I'm coming from.
No, I didn't say blind faith. I said faith. I'm talking about faith. I'm saying faith because Christianity, right, is a faith-based religion, right? Right. I'm asking, right, if people can have faith in something that's not true, right? Like you guys may say, well, Muslims or Islam, right? They believe in Allah, they believe in the Quran, and they have faith in their religion. But according to y'all, right, their faith is not true, or what they believe in is not true. So if that's true, that people can have faith in something that's not true, then faith is not reliable in determining what is true.
Yes, brother. Yeah, for example, you could, real quick, Adam, you could believe that Tefnut was masturbated into existence, but that wouldn't make it true. That'd be something you should not put your faith in. So you can have misplaced faith. That's a great point. But the scripture says in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of work, so that no one may boast. And so we see that God grants the faith to trust in him, and that is what saves a person, makes them right with God, is their trust in God's word.
Okay, so watch this real quick. I'm gonna go start real quick. So what you just said, very, very interesting. So watch this. So if people believe in a book that's not true, like the Quran or the
Book of the
Hindus,
Dead,
right? Or whatever you want to call it, that means, based on what you just said, right? Listen to me. So that means you're admitting that just because something is written in a book does not make it true.
Sure.
And if that's true, listen, if it's true, because you don't believe the Quran is true, right?
Wherever it imitates the Bible, it's true. But the Quran is got a lot of malarkey. Yeah.
Okay. So the Quran is not true, right?
The Quran has true parts in it, but ultimately,
but Harry Potter got things in it that's true. We know that. We're not talking about it. I'm saying, but the Quran in itself is not true to you, right?
Like where the Quran has Jesus speaking from the cradle as a little tiny baby, that's not true.
So how do you know that?
Well, Jesus was a 1st century person, and Muhammad was a 7th century person. Muhammad didn't speak Jesus's language. Muhammad never traveled to the land that Jesus lived in. Muhammad never spoke to any of the white eyewitnesses. Muhammad, by his own account, was illiterate, and Muhammad was about 500 years after the source. So he had no way of knowing.
Hey, Morpheus, talk directly in the phone so you can be
that's
clear.
why it was false, because Muhammad was contradicting scripture and didn't know what he was talking about because he was illiterate and never met any of the eyewitnesses.
Okay, so again, back to the Bible that you subscribe to. How do you know, not believe, how do you know that what's in the Bible is true?
Because the source is the one true God, and therefore the one true God,
no, that's
when he speaks, does
You're
not
giving
lie.
me what you believe. Vocab, you're giving me what you believe. I'm not asking you what you
Morpheus, talk
believe.
in the phone. Get off the speaker.
Okay, listen. All right, listen. Vocab, you're giving me what you believe. Mm-hmm. That's what you believe. And I get that, right? I'm not asking you what you believe. I'm asking you, how do you know? In other words, let me do it differently. Watch this. Tell me, how do you tell the difference from someone who talked to God and someone who thinks that they spoke to a God? How do you tell the difference? How do you distinguish those?
The beauty of Scripture is that it's not merely, at the end of the day, someone who just talked to God. Now, certainly that's in there, brother. But if you read Hebrews 1, it says, God has spoken many ways, various times through prophets, but now in these last days, he's spoken through his son. And so we see that John 1 describes Jesus as the word. So here's what I'm saying. Jesus is God's word directly to humankind. And there's no
Vocab, you're missing it. You're missing it. You're telling me what a book says. That's what you keep doing. You're telling me what's in a book. I get that. I know what's in the book.
Hey.
No, it's to you. It is. To you, it is. I'm asking you, how do you know? I am not asking you what you believe. I'm asking you, how do you know?
He got y'all in knots.
No, he doesn't. What are you talking about, bro? How?
He got y'all in knots.
Yeah, go read the Book of the Dead, Jabari.
Let him finish.
He got y'all in knots.
Nobody's in knots right
I
here.
feel like I've explained it. Do you want to?
No, I mean, no.
add
So here's
something to it?
the thing. Now, before I answer the question from the caller, I want to say this. To Brother Jabari, every time you do this, all this kind of stuff, I'm going to challenge you to, rather than just making faces and hand motions to create a narrative that we don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to challenge you to follow that up with an actual argument to show that we're wrong. And if you can't do that, then I'm going to ask you to not make justice.
Stop, Jabari. Stop.
Yeah, I'm just holding you accountable.
Don't get sidetracked. Morpheus, continue, brother.
So in order to answer...
What is Morpheus is finished? He destroyed them again.
See, he's making commentary, but he's not giving any arguments to back it up.
Listen,
so you had your chance, and you couldn't defend the one. Like so now you're trying to come on the back end, Johnny come lately.
Adam,
come on, bro.
I didn't hear what he was asking you.
I heard exactly what he was asking. I would like to respond to it.
Call your faith truth, but he's asking you,
bro.
I know what he's asking. You know,
bro.
Know it upon verification. So what is the verification? You're saying the book is the verification. And he says, well, how do you know what's in the book is the verification? You're saying because the book is true. And then that's why I'm doing this, because you were nuts.
No,
Jabari. Because what you have is a circular argument. Listen, my brother. Listen, you're creating a circular argument, right? That's known. Okay, listen, it's a logical fallacy because you're having a circular argument, and I understand your position.
Circular argument
I'm asking you. Yeah, it is a fallacy.
No, it's not. Look up the list of fallacies. Circular argument is not by definition
All right,
a
let me
fallacy.
let me answer the brother's question.
True.
Let me answer more.
It doesn't make it true, but
Right.
the conclusion follows from the premise. That's what
Right,
a circular argument is.
Right. So let me
Okay,
answer
so watch this.
So wait, I want to answer this question.
Get Adam.
All right, so here's the thing. Now, first of all, and this is for anybody. I'm not trying to sound condescending or anything like that, but this gets into a branch of philosophy called epistemology. Okay, and any epistemology has to do with knowledge and the study of knowledge, like what knowledge is and how you obtain it.
Know something to be true.
Well, it's what knowledge,
folks.
But Jabari, come on, bro. All right, if you want to correct me, at least let me get it out and then come behind me and correct it. Okay,
You are saying that to me?
I'm answering the caller's question.
Come on, let's go.
He's trying to grow the Christians, and you want to co-sign, but that's fine. Let me at least get it out.
What is it? 11:30 where you are? It's 2:30 where I am.
I'm on the East Coast.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So both of us need to go to sleep.
We do, but all right. So let me just get this out. So so again, epistemology has to do with what knowledge is and how we obtain it. That's a simple way of putting it. Okay. Now, no matter what epistemological framework you go with, you know what I'm saying? No matter what your philosophy is on epistemology, at the end of the day, there has to be some sort of ultimate foundation or basis of your knowledge.
That's what I'm asking you.
So there's two ways of looking at it, right? So when Vocab Malone says, basically Vocab Malone is taking it that the Bible is that foundation, in so much as it flows from God. And so it's not circular in any sense that's different from any other epistemological framework, because all epistemological frameworks have foundations. If we're saying that the Bible is the foundation, that's not a circular argument in terms of what you call vicious circularity. Listen, I'm not trying to be funny, but like this is something that I study all the time. And so if you're going to throw around fallacies and stuff like that, with all due respect, you have to understand that when we talk about epistemology, all epistemological frameworks have foundations. If we're saying that our foundation is either God or the Bible or what have you, in either case, to claim a foundation, that's not in and of itself viciously circular. So you don't really make any headway to try to negate the biblical worldview on that basis. Now, with that being said, when it comes to why it is that I would affirm that scripture is true, I think there's various paths that you can go with. I think it's perfectly fine to say, because it's inspired by God. I think that's perfectly fine. I think you could also say that regardless of what you believe about the Bible, there are historical facts that surrounded the resurrection of Jesus Christ, by which we can affirm that. Yeah, yes. So, for example, you can say what all you want. So, for example, the fact that Jesus died by crucifixion at the hands of the Romans, Jesus' tomb was found empty by a group of female followers. The disciples had experiences they believed to be encounters with the bodily risen Jesus of Nazareth. The conversion of Christianity. But wait, let me finish.
So Adam.
Give me 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. All right. The conversion of Paul and the conversion of James. The point is there are a series of different facts related to the resurrection of Jesus that a naturalistic, meaning non-God related explanation can't account for. However, the explanation that God raised Jesus from his dead makes sense of all of those different facts in a coherent way. And if it is the case that Jesus rose from the grave and affirms both the Old and by proxy, and also the New Testament, then we do have good grounds to affirm that the Bible is true. So I would just leave that out there. I'm just giving you a snippet of an argument. There's much more that could be said, and I would encourage we can maybe have me back on. I can unpack that further. But the 2 points I'm making is there's a foundation of epistemology. Okay.
All right, so we can do this another time, but I appreciate y'all brothers from coming on, and brother Jabari, wipe your knuckles off, man. Wipe your knuckles off, because you got blood. You got blood all on your knuckles, bro.
It's better than spitting in your mouth.
Right.
Tell your God to wipe his mouth while you're at it, Jabari.
Sure.
Oh, snap.
Don't let me have to start. I'm going to say something really foul that I will regret. Because you have two dudes and a bird, right? Just don't let me go there.
This dude went to the painting to prove the Trinity.
I would regret what I would say next.
Brother, I'm not worried what you say about those white paintings. You can diss all those white paintings all day, bro. It's weird you're going to critique bird gods. Hey, why are you critiquing bird gods when you got a bird god or two, bro? You got bird gods having sex with dead corpses, bro. You got bird gods making penises erect, bro. What are you talking about, dude?
Go ahead.
Why you upsetting a bird god?
Shout out to Adam, shout out to Vocab, shout out to Jabari. Jabari, I'm going to ask just a couple quick questions that I know you'll have quick answers to, and then get to a larger point. So you do believe in creation, right?
Of course, yes.
You believe in life after death, right?
Yes, I do.
You believe in your worldview or your religious view or whatever it may be that after that death, some type of judgment would take place.
Yes, I do.
Is your belief in these things based off mythological religion or a belief in a literal divine God or God?
I don't know if those things are all mutually, they're not mutually exclusive. I actually believe that it is difficult for us to actually comprehend what the divine force is. If the divine force is all things, it's really hard to understand that. And I am willing to accept that I don't really have a full understanding of what that looks like. Something that is everything. There's so many things that are confusing about this that I am still trying to grasp. And so I don't know if I can answer that question you said A, B, or C, but I don't even I could even argue there's a D, an E, an F. And the best thing I can say to you is I don't really know. That's the best I can say to you.
Jabari,
I have explanations that I think sound good to me, but I won't know until I'm judged.
No. Okay. And so one of the things I appreciate, Jabari, is you went along with me in the questions and you answered them quickly. But here is where I think becomes problematic. These conversations with you and you talk about the Bible and different things. When pressed on what you believe, you had no problem stating you believed in creation. You had no problem stating you believed in life after death. You had no problem stating you believed you would be judged. But then when it came to the source of the belief, it's problematic for you. It does not. Hold on.
You didn't ask me what the source of the belief is. You asked.
No. Hold on, Jabari. Hold on. Let me repeat the question. Yes, I did. After I asked you, did you believe?
Ask the last question you asked me.
Okay, I said, based on those three things that I asked you, do you believe in, right? Do you believe in creation? Do you believe in life after death?
The last one.
Right.
That's the last one. Wait, it's late.
Right. Based on those three beliefs you stated, my next question or the last one was, is your belief in those things based on a mythological belief in divine or the literal belief in the divine? Because if you believe in creation, surely you believe that it was a divine being that did that. If you believe in life after death and you will be judged, you would believe that it would be by something divine, not by simply something human.
Well, first of all, your third question was a tripartite, and now you just made it a dual part. So you're leaving something.
Jabari,
I'm saying.
No, Jabari, hold on. Jabari, real quick.
Let me cut to the chase so that we can conclude.
Jabari, I just want to say this real quick. If the chat is honest, I asked you that question. I simply asked, was your belief on those things based on mythological or a literal belief in the divine?
He actually, yes, he did say that.
The fact that you have those beliefs.
Listen to what I'm saying. First of all, you said three things. Now you're saying two. But let me say, we'll play the tape back and you'll hear it later.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you, I don't think it necessarily fundamentally changes what you're trying to say. That's why I'm trying to answer it. Right? What I'm saying to you is, this is the way I hear your question. You are asking me to literally define the divine source.
No.
Wait. I'm telling you how I interpret what you said. And you
don't tell me how you interpret it.
Jabari, hold up, Jabari. If he's saying no, then you got to let him try to make it clearer for you. That way you can hear it.
He doesn't
let him make it.
Know about what
Jabari, let him make the question clearer so you can understand it.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not trying to do that. And what I'm trying to express is this is what becomes problematic. You question the Christian on the biblical text that you suggest you know. You question it from a literal interpretation, knowing we believe it literally. We believe in that God. Like, we would not say we believe in life after death, then tell you we don't know if it's a literal God. We wouldn't tell you that. But when I question you, what comedics oftentimes do, because they don't have a true text, because they do have a mythological text, but they claim literal belief. You literally believe in the creation. You literally believe in life after death. Hold on, Jabari. Hold on.
Let me explain. I'm not going to hold.
Jabari, 20 seconds.
I'm not going to explain because you're saying the same thing over and over again.
Can I please get that? Wait, Jabari, listen. 20 seconds.
Let him get his last thing out, Jabari. 20
on,
seconds.
Jabari.
Go ahead.
Come on,
Go ahead, brother.
48 in the morning.
Okay, real quick, Jabari. You literally believe that you will be judged. Therefore, when I then ask you, do you believe these things based on a mythological belief in the divine versus a literal belief in the divine, you said you don't know.
Listen
so
carefully.
If you don't know,
Listen
how
carefully.
do you know you will be
Listen
judged?
carefully. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. First of all, I want everyone that's listening here to listen to what he asked the question, how he asked the questions. He has changed the questions. Now he says, he asked me, will I be literally judged? You said, will you be judged?
No, I said, how do you know you will be literally judged if you don't know if you believe in a literal God?
Wait a minute, brother. He's fundamental and so is listening. If you're going to change the questions, I'm going to give you a different answer. And I want to clarify from the Kemetic perspective what I am saying to you. If you really want to understand what my perspective is, you have to listen to what my perspective is. The way I interpreted your final question was, you were asking me to literally describe the nature of the divine. And as I said earlier, whenever you try to get me to literally describe the divine, I'm going to say to you that there are symbolic representations of the divine all throughout the Kemetic tradition. A symbolic representation doesn't mean that the divine doesn't exist. It means that our attempt to try to understand the divine falls short based on the that we live in a physical world. That's the challenge we have. So whenever you begin to ask me to really describe this particular person, I'm not going to talk to you about a white dude with a beard on a cloud. That's what most Christians would do. That's
Jabari, you know that filter. You know I don't believe that.
That's not how. That's
all right. Yo, Pastor Bennett, I got to roll. Thank you, brother, for coming through. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to Pastor Bennett, man.
Right.
Shout out to Pastor Bennett.
All right. I'm going to ask you brothers to close out.
Oh, us?
Close out. It don't matter who go out.
Well, I'm new to the platform, so I defer to Jabari. You know, to close that, and then I'll go after that, and then I guess vocab or
I'll go whenever. I don't. I appreciated tonight's dialogue. Jabari probably doesn't know because I, play around sometimes. He probably doesn't really know how much I actually really like him, but the fact is, I really do. And even when he was at his most feisty, he's still so much kinder and respectful and everything than most of the Hebrews I deal with. And so I don't say that as a way to just, my point is I'm used to a certain kind of thing, and I appreciate what Jabari brought tonight. And I'm not just saying that. I have no reason to say that because Jabari done told me I have no business even talking about this. So, I don't need to appease him or anything like that. He already thinks I have no business to even say nothing. I still appreciate those things that he said as far as that goes. Now, I know he narrates and stuff like that, but I think that's kind of part of the way he views how these things should go. And I appreciate one of the first times I've really heard Brother Jabari be questioned and pressed about some of the deeper axioms of his worldview. And I'm not going to do the whole John Madden thing. I'm not saying he failed, but I think it was a new challenge to him. And I think that's a good thing. Just like he brought some new challenges to us. I wouldn't deny that for a second. But I think it was a newer challenge to him. And I think that was good for the people to see. And I appreciate he's willing to go along and do with it, even though it's our last dialogue, because I don't have a right to even speak to him. Now, shout out to Adam, because Adam made it happen. And it would not have been the same without Adam. I hope you guys see why I said, Adam, can you do this? Because I know it would just be so much better. And I really stand by that. And hey, I have no problem shutting my mouth and being humble. I would love to see Jabari and Adam. You don't need vocab around. You're right. Get me out of here. Let those two have a great conversation. I think that would be a beautiful thing. And 100% Kate for Adam. I would love to see it happen. Sonetta. And so that's what I say. And thank you again, Sonetta, for doing it. But I'll tell you one other thing. Thank you, Sonetta, for making it 2-on-2 because we needed to make it even. So I appreciate you helping make it 2-on-2 tonight, brother. Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you, Bo. All right, Adam, let's go.
I'll defer to Jabari, man. I mean, well, I guess he wants the last word. So, I mean, I'm sure both of us in the back of our mind are thinking that. So I'll just go ahead and take the bait. First of all, I just want to say I appreciate, Sinetta, thank you for having me on. It's my first time, being on here, man. I had a good time, man. I know I get loud and jump into stuff and joke around, but, I had a good dialogue, good build. You were sniping me a lot and dipping out. You sideswiped me a couple times, but that's cool, though. I appreciate it. It was fun. And, thank you also, Brother Jabari. For a spirited but I think friendly dialogue, man. I really enjoyed it, So in closing, I do want to say this, that at the end of the day, my main goal was to examine and kind of ask questions, examine your worldview, get a better understanding, and try to address where I felt like there were some missteps in the Kemetic worldview. I did talk about how at the end of the day, if everything is part of the one, then I can't subscribe to a worldview like that, because at the end of the day, that means that every single bad thing that's happened to my people is directly attributed to the one. It's not free will agents doing things that are out of step with God's will. It's actually the Most High being in your theology that's the culprit behind all the evil we see in the world. And I can't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that provides you with a moral framework that's on a shakier footing, given that you don't have a Most High being in your framework that is morally perfect. So that's the point that I was trying to make. I would like to have another dialogue where you actually engage that, and we can walk through it from a logical standpoint. I want to say, peace to the chat. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you asking hard questions too. Seriously, man. I mean, I know that maybe y'all think Christians just love to duck and dodge, but I enjoy this stuff. I appreciate you asking hard questions. And, I try to articulate in snippet fashion. Maybe didn't do justice like I wanted to with certain things, but ultimately I would encourage people to study for themselves, check out the source that I provided, and just understand that at the end of the day, whatever moral critique that you have for Christianity and colonizers and so on and so forth, at the end of the day, you got to point that finger right back at the one who's the Most High in your worldview. So I appreciate you taking time with me. And y'all check out tru-id Apologetics, the website. Check out this book that I wrote chapter 11 in. I got to do a shameless plug. Urban Apologetics, Restoring Black Dignity with the Gospel, edited by Eric Mason. I wrote chapter 11 in it with one of your other friends, Damon Richardson, is also a contributor as well. So much love to y'all, man. Seriously, I'm joking around, but I appreciate it.
I really have to say that I've also enjoyed this conversation. I don't know if we were necessarily always talking about the same thing. There were sometimes we were talking past each other, but perhaps with additional conversations, some of that will change. I want to be really clear that with regard to Vocab Malone, what I'm saying essentially is when he calls a tradition new and strange, it really is difficult based on who he is. Because what I'm trying to say is these ancient traditions were destroyed. And so it is unfair to now say that those people who have destroyed their chains and are attempting to find themselves in history and return to the source, you can't then say they're new when folks that come from your part of the world are the ones that made it that broke the line. Does that make sense? That's why I keep saying you can't burn someone's house down and then call them homeless. And so that is what I'm attempting to say here. I'm not saying that Vocab Malone can't talk about anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you start saying something is new and strange, that puts you in awkward territory. And I hope that you see that. Now, with regard to our ultimate conversation, I must say that you are both intelligent, articulate, and studied guest. I think that sometimes Vocab makes a few more infantile jokes, but that he's trying to jab me in an interesting way. I get it. But you have to also understand that if he's making infantile jokes, you can't complain that I'm narrating. I mean, it's just, come on. I mean, I would think that one is a higher form of response than the other. And I could make infantile jokes. I went to high school too. I just remember there's a difference here. I'm actually clergy. There's some things I'm not supposed to do. And so sometimes when I'm battling, I can't battle in the same way that Jabari at a younger age would, because it would violate my charge. And I hope you understand that is part of what a charge I take very seriously. Very seriously, and you must understand. Now, with regard to being asked some questions that are new, I think that sometimes people think that what I do is sonnetter. I actually run a spiritual institution. I guide people every day. There isn't a day of my life that I'm not doing priesthood work. And so these questions are things I talk about all the time. The challenge that I'll have for you all is, in order to understand some of what I'm saying, you have to do a little bit more research. Because if I have to go into all of the text to explain it to you, first of all, everyone's going to say, Jabari being condescending. That's not what I'm doing. I have to actually show you the sources so you can understand what I'm trying to say. And if you haven't read the sources, then how could you understand? So that is the challenge that we have. I gave you several books to read. I'm not saying you're going to read them and be converted, but I'm suggesting you read them at least so we can have a better argument. Does that make sense? Because some of the things you'll read, you'll completely disagree with. And some of them you read, you say, that sounds familiar. And so when you see it sounds familiar, I'm going to then say to you, the more you read the Kemetic sources, you're going to realize that you are reading them in the Christian sources. And the best way to explain that is in the book of Amenemope and the book of Proverbs. Most biblical scholars now recognize, in fact, in one of the translations, it even says that it was written by Amenemope. What I want you to recognize is that these traditions come from somewhere. And I would hope that if you are African and you are Christian, you'll be a different type of Christian. If you recognize that the tradition that you are in was created in ancient Africa and not in Rome or Constantinople or Antioch or any of those places, then maybe you'll have a different ownership of it. And if you have a different ownership of it, maybe you'll contend with its most difficult points. Whenever I push Christians on the most difficult points, essentially what they do is they try to explain why they're there. And I will say to you, I don't believe that they can be explained. They are that reprehensible to me. I don't think there's anything that justifies the murder of babies. I don't think there's anything that justifies the rape of women and their sale to their rapists. These are things I don't think can be justified. I wish that someone would just say, you know what? There's some things in the text that I wish weren't there. If someone said that, I would just be like, true, and then we would not have an argument anymore. But instead, what everyone tries to do is they try to explain it. We have a lot of work to do. We have to recognize that the Bible is not one book. It was curated. Someone decided what should be in there. It didn't fall off of a cloud. And if it was curated by humans, it can be curated again by humans. And perhaps with its final curation, my ancient tradition and your not as old tradition will look a lot more similar and we'll have a lot more agreement. So I just want to say thanks again for a spirited rejoinder. I got to get up in 4 hours.
Yes,
and I hope that there will be more dialogue and discussion. You know very well that even though I've said that you guys need to do some more reading, the reality is if I didn't want to talk to you, I wouldn't have tried to talk to you in 2019.
Fair enough.
So, you know, that's not what's happening. What's happening is I think we need to have better disagreements by knowing more of the sources. And then we'll be able, because you might say I don't always understand the Christian sources, but I've read almost all the sources that you have. I've read almost all the sources. I think you'd be surprised if you knew. If you could just see what I've read, you'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised. But I don't think you can do that for my tradition. I don't think you can do that. There's so many texts that are primary to practitioners that you just haven't read. You have to read some of them so we can have a better disagreement even, so that we're able to move forward in peace and power. Anyway, Sonetta, thanks again. I'm hoping that folks really do want to have more of this dialogue and discussion. And folks in the chat, I'm not just challenging them to read. We're all challenging you to read. That's the one thing that I like about what both of these brothers did. They said, you need to read these.
All right. We got to move on. Do your
reading.
All right. Peace, y'all. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Vocab. Thank you, Brother Adam. And we out. Thank y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Be blessed.
Love y'all, man.
Peace.
Come on, y'all, too. Let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you, man. Let's go.
Oh, okay. All right, bro. Peace.
When two cultures collide, which one will stand to liberate the black community? First of all, I need to acknowledge why this debate is necessary.